So I've wanted to do this video for a while, and it's on the subject of phone addiction. And I have for years been conscious of the various side effects that phone use can have on you. And I think one of the big side effects is it it it, um, it pulls you out of the present moment completely. Like you'd see on public transport or whatever, or wherever you go, you just walk down the streets, and it's very interesting to me to just observe it. And when someone picks up their phone to look at their phone, they literally disconnect from the current world that they're in at the moment. Almost in places that in public, anyways, that seem really dangerous. Where you could potentially get mugged or stabbed, especially in more dangerous places around Dublin. And I think it's like that's one bad side effect, that you're not currently present in your environment. Other problems, I'll be walking down the street, and you can just people have their headphones in, or they're checking the phone at the same time, and they have no awareness or kinesthetic awareness that you're behind them, and that you should move out of the way, and people are like walking on top of each other because they're so suckered into their phones and not present in the current world. And it's really it scares the living shit out of me, if I'm being honest. That's why I'm doing a video about it. I really believe that some people don't even realize that they're going on the phone. It's almost, the addiction is unbeknownst to them. There's an unawareness of the constant picking up and down of the phone. I had a friend come over there the other day. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years, and we were catching up. It was two of us that lived together, and one guy that I hadn't seen in 2 years. And we were literally talking about what he's doing, what we're doing, and the experiences that he's had and the experiences that we've had, and having a laugh here and there. But literally, it was actually rude, even stronger than rude. As soon as he picked up his phone, he was so sucked into whatever his phone was telling him that we were sitting waiting for him, because he'd come over to our house. So it was like, the social etiquette is, when someone comes over to your house, is that their attention is completely sought to. So whenever he picked up his phone to look at his phone, he was completely suckered into whatever was going on his phone, and we just had to wait until he had finished reading or sending back an email or a text or whatever, or WhatsApp. And it really struck me that number one, he couldn't see that he was making both of us uncomfortable, that we had to wait for him to finish whatever he's doing on his phone. And two, it's like, you must take our time for granted if you just let us sit out 2.5 minutes here while you finish off your text message, while you also can't acknowledge that listening that goes on in the body that says, okay, two of us in the room are uncomfortable, put away your phone for now, and you can check it later, or at least check it kind of just quickly. They don't have to stay in it constantly. And that's really scares me, and I genuinely think, even over the last 2 years, it's gone dramatically worse, most people are like, and also, here's another thing. I think it's used as a blocker for or a block for conflict in general, or awkwardness, or any sort of conflict, subtextual conflict or unsaid conflict between two people or a group. And the first thing, when people feel uncomfortable, the first thing they'll do is they'll pull out their phone, they'll check their phone, and that scares the shit out of me as well, because I think a huge part of communication is being lost today, because it is now, it's socially acceptable to pull out your phone in pretty much any circumstance, bar, if you're in work or you're dealing with a client or whatever. And that's, it's just not right. I just don't ever see it being fixed, But I myself, Like every day I find it a battle to pull myself off social media, to pull myself off from looking at notifications. And I get pulled into the mindless scrolling that everyone else gets pulled into. It's so fucking difficult to wean yourself off that. Even though, like, I've deleted certain apps on my phone so I don't get the notification, but every now and again I might have to log into Facebook, and I can do that through a web browser. And the fucking bastards still update me through my web browser. Uh, like it's crazy. Like I was with my girlfriend the other day, and we were walking down the street, and I literally, there was a girl on her phone, and I just as an exercise for myself, and you might think this is cruel, but I literally fucking basically clapped in front of her like that, just to see if she reacted, and there was no reaction. I was like, that's crazy. Like it's craziness. Like if you were an alien and you landed on Earth and you saw the kind of reliance and abuse of technology on the phones, you'd literally, you think these people are mad. Like it's a madness. It's everywhere. I go to family reunions or people's houses that I haven't seen in a while, and 15% of that time is spent on their phone, and you can see people now edging to get back on their phone even when they're in the middle of conversation. It just says to me that, like, yeah, and I think it is the antithesis of connection with people, and I think it's probably one of the most healthy things to do with another person, especially one-on-one, where I think the phone should really be put aside. That connection and meaningful conversation is one of the most healthiest things two people can do together, because they further their understanding of, well, in my opinion, we further our understanding of what it means to be human and how we can deal with the suffering of life, and etc., etc., etc. But when a phone is involved, it waters that experience down, because those one-on-one conversations, we're in groups of people where you get a sense that we're having a meaningful conversation, and then it's diluted by a phone. It is taken from the emotional outlet and experience that people need to have with one another, whether it be positive or negative. We need a combination. What I've tried to do and to reduce my phone use is, like, I'm literally playing these games in my head, like, it's like, don't do any mindless scrolling. Once I catch myself mindless scrolling, it's like meditation almost. I have to catch myself mindlessly scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever bullshit I'm on, and I literally catch myself, like meditation, where I'm watching my breath or feeling sensations in my body. I literally go, okay, I'm thinking now, acknowledge my thinking, and then go back, notice my breathing and notice my body. With the same scrolling, it's like, okay, why am I on my phone? Okay, I'm just mindlessly scrolling. I'm not actually doing any task or looking up anything directly of interest. I'm mindlessly scrolling. Okay, stop that. So it's now I'm applying my meditative practice to my phone. I'm also trying to associate negative feelings with scrolling and texting and mindlessly watching YouTube videos. I think it's okay when you directly want to learn about something on YouTube or read articles or read emails and send back emails, but when it's indirect, it's wrong. I think what I'm trying to say is that we need to look inside ourselves on our unawareness of what our phone use is doing to us, and monitor our behavior with our phone constantly, because I think without that we'll just be absolutely suckered into it. I think people that are or kids, teenagers that 16 and 17 years of age now. They have a serious problem with phone addiction, and there's a very nihilistic feel about their phone addiction, because it's like, you'll have a chat with them, and they're like, yeah, and they get bored of the present conversation. It's just like, I know it's not me, it's them, and they just can't, and they're like, yeah, sure, and they're back to their phone, and that scares the shit out of me. And I don't think, it's snowflake generation or whatever. I wouldn't even consider myself a snowflake, but I don't know where they're gonna get the mind musculature to stop them from obsessing with their phone, whatever. I don't know if that's going to stop anytime soon. But all I know is that huge awareness and mindfulness needs to be applied to phone use, because otherwise it'll start controlling you. And I think I'm at the point now where for years I actually didn't fall into the trap of it, but now I feel like I'm falling more into phone use, and as time goes on, my awareness, okay, I'm mindlessly scrolling again. Just acknowledge that, stop, put it down. Don't look at my phone. I'm playing games with myself. Don't look at my phone for 3 hours. Don't look at my phone for 6 hours. And what I'm finding is I feel great for not looking at my phone for 3 or 6 hours. And then when I do look at my phone, it's like this big hit, and that's alarming. Because it's not good for you. Then it's like I used to smoke, and it's akin to smoking, and I'll do a video on smoking soon enough. But I think I've made some interesting points on where we need to go with our cell phone use, and I hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching.